Hey guys, welcome back to Lorbeck Luxury Cars. I'm your host Harry, and today I'm going to be driving this stunning 2013 Aston Martin Vanquish. Now, I recently drove this Aston Martin Rapide on the channel and I really love this car, but I was curious to find out what the same 5.9 litre V12 felt like in a proper sports car body, without all the hindrance of that extra weight from a four-door. And that's why I've chosen to take this out today. The iteration of the V12 in this package is a fair bit more powerful than in the Rapide, with 565 horsepower and a much lighter curb weight. It helps the car sprint from 0 to 100 in just 4 seconds flat. A few things to note about the exterior of the car. I really love these satin black wheels. I'm not the biggest fan of diamond cuts, so I think these look great with the contrasting red brake calipers and those carbon ceramic discs. There's also extensive carbon fiber all around the car. We've got carbon fiber on these mirror caps, along on the side skirts, rear diffuser, and even on the front splitter. And all of that is to compensate for, I think, like the 6 dead cows that it takes to make this masterpiece of an interior. Now, the first thing I notice, aside from these lovely swan style opening doors, is this very funky looking handbrake here. Moving on. Now, I attempted to get in the back seat of the 4-door Rapide, and this is definitely not something that I will be attempting unless I brought my hacksaw with me, because there is definitely no way a pair of human legs can fit in the back of that. Okay, moving on to the rest of the interior. All right, now I can definitely see where those 6 cows have gone. There is leather everywhere in here, on the doors, the dash, even on the roof. The whole thing is just covered in leather. It's just lovely. The steering wheel, even with 24,000 Ks on this one, it's still nice and matte, not too glossy. Even the seats have this lovely red contrasting stitching in this really funky looking pattern. Really just livens up the interior and breaks it up from the black. Surprisingly to me, there's no glove box here, but there's lots of nooks and crannies around the place. You know, you can fit a couple of suppressors in here, you know, potentially a 9mm in the door card, and yeah, it's everything that you could want to make you feel like a real spy. First of all, this thing is definitely exceeding my expectations. Wow, there is so much more aggression in this car than what I was expecting. Compared to the Rapide, this thing feels much lighter, much snappier, and that engine tone has this lovely sort of backfirey burble sort of thing when you lift off the throttle. Not quite as aggressive as that F-Type I drove in last episode, but it's a much crispier, smooth, linear sound. As you can tell from that underpass there, this is a fantastic note. The handling, as far as I can tell, is really good. I was expecting it to be a little bit softer, a little bit more on the comfort side of things, but there is this suspension button down here that I can toggle on and off next to my sport mode, which I will be leaving on today. And when I press the dampers into their comfort mode, there's a lot more noticeable body roll. The car really slackens off and takes those bumps really nicely. Once I stiffen it back up again, it really allows you to just lean on the car through the corners. And as you're coming out of the corners, just feed that smooth torque from that V12. Super punchy. I'm not gonna lie, it is bloody hot today, and I'm super thankful that this thing has the heated and ventilated seats, which I've got on 3 bars there, just cooling down my bottom, which I appreciate in these snug bucket seats. It's got a very racy feel to the seating position. The steering wheel is nice and close to my chest here. Don't feel like I'm stretching for it. And the seats are nice and low to the ground, which gives me a great connection to the car. I do love this piece of road here. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Phillip Island, although I do have to stick to 50, which we are doing today. I love just playing that note over and over again. It's so smooth and linear. Drop it down a gear and you can just feed in that sound. One thing you do have to be very mindful of is the fact that it is a very, very torquey V12 and the traction control system is a little rudimentary, so it does allow for a fair bit of slip, which you do have to watch out for. To sum this car up, I think it really does have a split personality, super comfortable for crunching those highway miles, and when you dial everything into its raciest setting, it's definitely enjoyable and it's definitely quick enough for what you need on the road. And with that, I will see you guys back at Lorbeck.